Bienvenidos a todos ustedes. Welcome all to my channel, Dolls by Mr. Fabre. And if you haven't guessed, I am Mr. Fabre. I hope you guys have had an amazing week so far. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying November. I am very excited because I am here to review the 2026 Ballet Wishes Barbie doll in the AA Odile sculpt, and I'll explain why my packaging looks like this. But to give a quick little backstory, I was scrolling through the doll Instagrams and there was one account, and I wish I would have remembered the name of it. I think it's called, like Black Barbie Guide, something like that, something in the name. Their post is about posting like Black Barbie dolls that are getting released, mainly I think Mattel Barbies. So I believe they posted that like promo pictures of this doll, and some people thought it was real, some people thought it was fake. I don't know, just because, you know, Mattel hasn't advertised anything to my knowledge. And eventually there was another doll account that had, I don't remember the doll account's name, but they had the doll already. So of course a lot of people were wondering, where did you get this doll? And somebody, again, I apologize, I don't remember the name, they ended up linking the doll via Amazon. And the part that was a little sketchy, I guess, was that the doll had no pictures. So you were kind of ordering blind, you know, you weren't really sure if you were going to get the doll or something completely random. So when I ordered this doll through Amazon, there was no stock photos. So it just had no photo available, something like that. So I ordered it, it arrived. I did kind of undo the tissue paper because I wanted to see if this is the actual Odile face or if it's like a random Ballet Wishes doll. It is, I could confirm. I just unwrapped just this little part just to see her face. You can see her face right there. I'm so excited to see. So yes, we'll be going ahead and unboxing and reviewing this doll. I also have the Odile in the, I don't know, Caucasian version. I have that one right here next to me because I did purchase that one. And we'll do a compare and contrast, because from what I've seen, it kind of looks like a palette swap, but we'll see if there's any distinctive features that are slightly different. So we'll go ahead and unbox her. These are my first thoughts because I haven't really seen this. Oh my goodness. To be honest, I will say the packaging is pretty, but I will say this is how the packaging looks. Sorry for the glare. The packaging looks pretty. The tutu a little crooked, but I notice it's pretty packaging. But from what I remember from the Odile this year, I should say, in 2025 with the pink tutu, I think her box was slightly better. I want to say they look very similar, but for some reason this feels very AI generated. I feel like the Ballet Wishes that came in the Caucasian Odile, I feel like that one was better. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and unbox her. And I also just want to see how, I guess, easy or difficult it is to unbox her. So let's see. So, and she did cost around the same price as the Caucasian Odile from this year. She costed, when I bought the pink Odile, she was around, I want to say $30 to $33, and this doll is pretty much the same price. So let's see, in the back of the box, you'll see the doll stand. So we're going to remove that, and it's that cute glittery stand. I think Angel Kent makes these designs, and I like his, interesting. We'll look into that later. I like how with each doll that he releases, the doll stands are in like that iridescent glittery type of thing. Okay, so, okay. All right, and then here is the other part of the doll stand. Let's see. So just to give a quick overview on the packaging. So currently she has, you know, the plastics on her legs here, on her arms, and I believe she may have some like T tags probably here. She has like a little plastic thing around her waist. But yeah, we'll see how difficult she is to unbox. So I'll be back and we'll flip the camera over and she'll be unboxed and she'll be ready for display. All right, we are on the other side, and wow, I have a few thoughts about this doll. Now, one thing I want to say is that, interestingly, my Ballet Wishes doll did not come with a certificate of authenticity. Not that it really matters because I don't really save them, but I did find that quite interesting. So here's the doll in all her glory, and let's do a closer inspection. So something that I don't think the original or the previous Ballet Wishes doll had is, if you can see, she has like some sort of like shimmer to her face, which I think is very pretty. If you see how it's her little cheek is shining, it's very, very nice. So she has the same identical crown and earrings as the previous Odile Ballet Wishes doll. Her hair is nice and soft in the same hairstyle as the previous Odile. I don't know what texture this is. This may feel, I think this is saran, I believe. So she has saran hair. She has the same ballet tutu as the previous Odile, but it's in a lilac purple. And then she has the same stockings or leg tights. And then she has the same shoes or the same ballet slippers, but in lilac. And one thing I want to say is I hope that this isn't the same for every person, but this is the first time this has ever happened to me, where the elbow joint is so misaligned. So if I were to move it, look how it moves. Like, that is not normal, because it's supposed to bend here where this little tab is, or whatever you call it, this little rectangular piece, but it only goes from the side. If you look at that, like, versus her arm here, it, you know, moves freely. But this one is, it's so weird to me. And I can't move it like this one. I can move up and down, but this one only goes on an angle. It goes like side to side, and it looks so strange when it looks like her elbow just popped out of its socket or something. So yeah, I'm not very happy about the quality control, but since I'm mainly using these dolls on display, it's fine, I guess. But I don't know if I'd be able to pose her. I could pose her like this because my previous Odile is posed like this. So I could potentially pose her like this without her looking absolutely weird. Yeah, that's a little disappointing, but hey, as long as her arm joint doesn't come out of the socket, that's all I really care about. She has like that, I don't really know what articulation this is, like the ballerina articulation, where, you know, she has the head articulation, she has the elbow or the shoulder, elbow, and wrist. I absolutely love this hand sculpt. Oh, something I forgot to mention is that she has painted nails, which is pretty. I wonder why they didn't do lilac to match the outfit. I do not know. But yeah, she has this type of, and I just love the hands. They're so elegant and pretty. I wish they would just make this the standard for Barbie hands. And then she has articulation in her legs here. She has a, I don't know what this is called, like a pivot here, so she can move her leg. She could swivel her leg. She has knee articulation. She could swivel the knees. She doesn't have ankle articulations, and her feet are in like a very exaggerated point. so that these don't move. And then she also has the torso articulation too. Personally, for me, I feel like this would be a doll with, if I got to, like next to Made to Move, I really like this articulation. However, I wish that her feet were just regular pointed feet versus like the extreme pointed or the ballet pointed feet. And I'll go ahead and I will do a side-by-side from the previous Odile to the new Odile so you can see the very similar features of them. So stay tuned. All right, so here are the Odiles side-by-side from each other. Ooh, my apologies. So if you see, they are pretty much identical down to the tutu, the slippers, the tiaras, the earrings, but the difference, I guess, that you can see is with the Caucasian Odile, she has the mole on the top of her lip, and then the AA Odile, her mole is under her eye. Personally, for me, I feel like I wish they would have just been released together so we can choose both options, because I feel like it's a little redundant to just release the same Odile for Ballet Wishes 2026 the exact same way, except the skin color is different. I do feel like it is a little redundant, but I also think it's a decent marketing strategy, considering that I feel like with collectors, it's no secret that like Odile's become 90% of doll collectors' favorite face mold. So they knew that maybe if they didn't have any ideas on what to do for Ballet Wishes 2026, just release the Odile in AA and people will love it, obviously, because I got her. Personally, for me, I feel like I would have preferred her in a nice emerald green color because, you know, with the whole topic on palette swaps, it makes me think of Mortal Kombat. And one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters is Jade, the OG, one of the OGs. And of course, she's in a jade green color. So it would have been real cool to have a nice like emerald or jade color to match her skin tone and her hair. It would totally make me think of Jade from Mortal Kombat. One thing I want to say too is if you have never gotten a Ballet Wishes doll, be very careful about putting the doll stand on her, because if you see here, it's a saddle stand, but the saddle stand's kind of tight. And you want to make sure that, you know, you don't rip the tights or put a run in them. So be very cautious when you're putting the doll on this on the stand, because it is a very it's a tight grip, that saddle stand. It's not loose at all. Because if you see here, she's not moving. I didn't put her that well because I'm going to take her out of it. Right now, I don't really have anywhere to display her. So currently she's going to go back in the box, and then once I find somewhere to display her, I'll definitely display her next to this beautiful girl. So they're gonna be nice little sisters, you know, doing, I don't know, the Nutcracker or something. But yes, this is the 2026 Ballet Wishes Odile. I wish they would have given her like a nice, like, you know, in the world of being a ballerina, their hair's typically up in a bun because, you know, their hair is too much of a distraction, I think. I don't know if that's the proper term, but, you know, usually a ballerina's hair is in a bun out of their face, so it doesn't cause, like, I guess, any distractions. What I would have loved for her is if they would have given her like a nice curly bun. Like, that would have been real cute. I would have preferred that. But I can see why that they didn't do that, because they need to fit the tiara in. And I feel like maybe with a big curly bun, it would have kind of been hard to put a tiara. But they could have done like a nice dainty one, like one that just goes across here. But it is what it is. So anyway, I guess now I'll go ahead and flip the camera over again and I will give you my final thoughts. All right, so my final thoughts on the doll, of course, I love Odile, so I would, at this point, I'll buy any Odile that they'll ever make. I feel that the doll, of course, lacks originality because we already had a Ballet Wishes doll that looks just like this. The only difference is the mole and the skin tone. I'll say that the quality of the fabrics haven't changed at all. They seem very similar, so they haven't changed that. The price point's basically the same, so I will say she is worth the money. Personally for me, I'm a little disappointed about the quality control on her elbow here. But other than that, you know, I do think that she's very pretty. There's also a little scratch mark on her too here on her collarbone. But yeah, she's very pretty. She lacks originality, but she's in a dual face mold. If she did not have this face mold, I would not have purchased her at all. So yeah, that is Miss Odile. One thing too that maybe that has to do with the quality control is how her the pattern here is kind of like twisting to the left side. I don't really like that, and I tried to like push it towards the right, but I don't know if that's working at all. So yeah, I don't know. That's something I have to probably make an adjustment on. But yes, anyway, this is this is the Ballet Wishes doll of 2026. She looks absolutely beautiful, and Miss Odile is representing. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching my video, and stay tuned because I have some more dolls that I will be reviewing and one that I'm very excited about. So stay tuned. All right, bye-bye.